The first time she said it, her voice wasn't defensive. It was dismissive. "You're just insecure, Mark. Why can't I see my male best friend every Friday?" The words hit me harder than I expected. I remember sitting at the edge of the couch, staring at her. Her arms crossed, her tone sharp, as if I had just accused her of murder instead of asking why she had to disappear every single Friday evening. It wasn't always like this. When Claire and I first married, Fridays were our nights. Dinner, a movie, sometimes just sitting on the porch with a glass of wine, laughing about work and life. Somewhere along the way, those Fridays stopped belonging to us. They became his. Ryan, her so-called best friend from college. First, it was innocent enough. Drinks after work once a month. Then twice. Then every Friday. When I hesitated, she turned the tables. "You don't trust me, do you?" she said, narrowing her eyes. "God, Mark. Do you know how suffocating it feels to be married to someone who questions every little thing?" I swallowed the lump in my throat and told myself she was right. Maybe I was insecure. Maybe this was my problem. But deep down I knew. The cracks in the marriage. I started noticing the signs. She dressed differently on Fridays. Sleeker, sexier. Tops I'd never seen her wear for me. Skirts that showed more leg than she ever bothered with at home. Her perfume, the one she used to wear only on anniversaries or date nights, lingered in the hallway as she left. And when she came back, usually past midnight, she was different. Distracted. Cold. The way she'd slide into bed without touching me, without even saying goodnight, felt like punishment. One Friday night I stayed awake pretending to sleep. I heard her phone buzz on the nightstand. She hesitated, then slipped into the bathroom, locking the door behind her. The sound of her muffled giggles bled through the thin walls, a sound I hadn't heard directed at me in months. The next morning when I asked who it was, she rolled her eyes. "Ryan. He sent a meme. You're seriously policing my texts now." Her tone was sharp, but her hands trembled as she poured her coffee. That tremor told me everything. Seeds of doubt. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her. For weeks I fought the war inside my head. Every time she left, I'd pace the house, torn between grabbing my keys and following her, or burying myself in work and pretending none of this was happening. But lies have a way of staining everything they touch. Even the good moments between us, the rare dinners, the lazy Sundays, felt poisoned. I'd look at her smile and wonder, is this the same smile she gives him? One night, I tried to bring it up again, gently this time. "Claire, don't you think it's strange? Every Friday, I feel like we're drifting apart." Her eyes hardened. "Not everything is about you, Mark. Maybe if you had your own friends, you wouldn't obsess over mine." The words cut deep. I realized then that this wasn't just about Ryan. This was about the slow erosion of us. The breaking point. The breaking point came on a rainy Friday evening. She left in a rush, her hair still damp from the shower, her lips painted red in a way I hadn't seen in years. I waited 10 minutes before following. Her car wasn't at Ryan's apartment. It wasn't at the usual bar either. My stomach twisted as I drove aimlessly, scanning parking lots and side streets. Finally I saw it. Her car parked outside a small boutique hotel on the edge of town. I sat there for an hour, rain streaking the windshield, my hands gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles went white. When she finally emerged, Ryan was with her. They didn't even try to hide it. His hand rested casually on the small of her back as they laughed, walking together toward her car. I couldn't breathe. My world, the life I thought I had, collapsed in that single moment. The confrontation. I didn't confront her that night. Couldn't. Instead, I lay awake beside her, staring at the ceiling while she slept soundly, her body turned away from me. The next morning I made coffee and set her phone beside her mug. I had already seen the messages. I had already taken screenshots. "Did you have fun last night?" asked, my voice steady. She blinked, caught off guard. "What?" "At the hotel." The color drained from her face. For the first time in months, she didn't have a snarky comeback. Finally she whispered, Mark, it's not what you think. I laughed bitterly. Really? 'Cause it looked exactly like what I think. You dressed up for him. You spent the night with him. You've been lying to me for months. Tell me, what part of that is not what I think? Tears welled in her eyes, but they only fueled my anger. You're always so paranoid. Ryan and he understands me. Don't. You haven't for years. The words stung worse than the betrayal itself. He understands me. Don't. The decision. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I just looked at her, really looked at her, and saw a stranger. You know what, Claire? You're right. Maybe I don't understand you. Maybe I don't want to anymore. I stood up, walked to the bedroom, and pulled out the envelope I had prepared weeks ago, just in case. Inside were printed screenshots of her messages, photos of her leaving the hotel, and a letter from a divorce attorney. Her face crumpled as she read the first page. You were planning this. I met her gaze. No, you were. Every Friday, every lie, every time you chose him over me, you planned this. I just finally caught up. The fallout. The weeks that followed were a blur. She begged at first, swearing it was just a mistake, that she didn't mean for it to go this far. But her tears didn't move me anymore. I had loved her with everything I had, and she gambled it away for cheap hotel rooms and Friday night lies. The divorce moved quickly. My lawyer was ruthless. The evidence was undeniable. She left with far less than she expected. Her dignity shattered along with a life she thought she could live in two halves. One with me, one with him. The revenge. But the real revenge wasn't in the legal papers. Came months later. I ran into Ryan at the grocery store. Alone. No Claire by his side. He looked older, worn, like someone who had expected a fairy tale and wound up with ashes. She left me, he admitted, trying to mask the bitterness in his voice. Turns out she was seeing someone else on the side too. Guess I wasn't special after all. I almost laughed, but I didn't. I just patted his shoulder. She said the same thing to me once, Ryan, that I was just insecure. Guess we both know better now. I walked away feeling lighter than I had in years. Moving forward. Healing wasn't instant. Some nights, I still woke up expecting to hear her car in the driveway, my chest aching with the ghost of what we used to be. But each day without her was a reminder that I had survived the worst. That betrayal didn't destroy me. I started going out again, reconnecting with old friends, rebuilding my life brick by brick. And slowly, I began to realize something. Claire's betrayal wasn't a reflection of my worth. It was a reflection of hers. For the first time in a long time, I felt becomes nothing more than a lesson learned. Because in the end she lost me. And that was her real punishment.